you think about what God is like, what do you think he is like? What words would you choose? Maybe you choose the words of all wise or all knowing or all powerful, but do you think of God as all joyful? That the greatest joy in the universe is contained in God himself. We're continuing this journey through John Ortberg's book, The Life You've Always Wanted, Spiritual Disciplines for Ordinary People. And we've been learning that it's not about trying hard to become a certain kind of person, but rather training our life to become this kind of person, this person of Jesus. And so we're looking at different spiritual practices. And today, the spiritual practice is the practice of celebration. Now, I don't know about you, but I have a lot of room to grow in my practice of celebration. Now, when I associate celebration, I don't always think about the church. I recently preached a message about worship and a vision of worship. And the thought of a worship service that goes on and on forever and ever does not conjure up joy for most of us, right? So, but yet joy, as C.S. Lewis wrote, is the serious business of heaven. So the simple thought today, the central thought today is simply this: choose joy. Choose joy. We can choose to be joyful. I want to read to you a little bit from John Ortberg's book. It says this: joy is at the heart of God's plan for human beings. The reason for this is worth pondering a while. Joy is at the heart of God himself. We will never understand the significance of joy in human life until we understand its importance to God. I suspect that most of us seriously underestimate God's capacity for joy. And he writes a little bit later, the Bible puts joy in a non-optional category. Joy is a command. Joylessness is a serious sin, one that religious people are particularly prone to indulge in. It may be the sin most readily tolerated by the church. But how much damage have joyless Christians done to the cause of Christ? We are invited to rejoice in every moment of life because every moment of life is a gift. Every tick of the clock is a gift from God. So we can choose to become joyful people, especially when we realize how life is short. This has been not always the most joyful week of our lives, for me at least. This past week, our puppy, who is 14 years old, Cookie, whom we love, the little cockapoo in our family, she's been sick for a couple weeks, and we had to make the difficult decision to put her down so that she wouldn't be in any pain, and she wasn't thriving at all. And that was not a joyful day. That was a day with a lot of tears and a lot of memories. We tried to remember, and it was of the good times that she brought to our family, but it was really hard. There were a lot of tears. And then a couple days later, my son Max came in from Asheville and went from kind of a low to a high. Person in our church, Steve, if you're watching, thank you. He gave us tickets to see the Knoxville Air Show, and we got to see the Blue Angels. And so this was so cool. My son took a lot of pictures. We got to see all these old planes, and it was special for me, not just to do it with my son Max, but because my dad, when I was young, used to take me to Willow Grove, Pennsylvania, and we used to go to the air show. And I remember seeing the Blue Angels with him, and it just gave me joy to see them again and just think about my dad, and I get to do this with my son, and that's a joyful moment. Every moment we have is a gift from God. And so my word to you is simply choose joy. We can become joyful people. We can become this kind of people, but we need to choose joy. We can choose to allow our circumstances to determine how we feel or how we react, but we can choose instead to react that we're going to choose joy instead of allowing the pain and the disappointment in life to suck it out of us. So I don't know what you're going through today. I don't know what time you're watching this video or what your circumstances are in your life. But the practice for today is a practice of celebration, the practice of choosing joy. So choose joy today. And maybe even to take it a step further, not only be joyful yourself, but maybe you can smile at somebody, make eye contact, maybe give somebody a thumbs up, or just to try to make somebody smile will allow the joy that has been put in you by Jesus to share to other people. So choose joy and spread joy this day. See you next time.